Jebel Shams is kind of like the Middle East's equivalent of the Grand Canyon, and the very first drop is over 400 meters. So that's higher than the Empire State Building in one single uninterrupted drop. It's just not one of those things that people do, doing a single drop 400-meter abseil.
My name is Aldo Kane. My role on this expedition was lead technical rope safety advisor. That's the biggest abseil I've ever done by a long way.
There's always something about just going over the edge for the first time, regardless of how many times you do it.
There's no easy or quick way about rigging something like this. It just takes a lot of time and a lot of effort.
Going to bang the bolts in these now?
Yes. In 45-degree plus.
The exposure here is pretty insane.
To rig the abseil, it took myself and Justin between 8 and 10 hours, rigging in the full heat of the day.
This back shots gets into these situations.
It's heat like I've never felt before. It's my job to ensure that everyone else that's going down the rope is safe. It's their lives are in my hands. Steve was the first person down. Once we get onto the ropes, there is no coming back. The only way out is down.
This was the longest single drop abseil that either Aldo or I have done before. Once I've managed to hoik up the rope below me and clip it back through a second anchor, I'd increased my friction and I slowed down to a good pace. I also had good thick gloves on and I wrapped the rope around my legs and my boots to slow myself a little bit more. Down, alive, safe, you beauty. I've done some pretty big abseils in the past, but this was on a whole different scale.
I then connected to the ropes, but at this point, I've been rigging for almost 10, 12 hours.
Going down.
I'm also carrying a bag which has around about 50, 60 kilograms of anchors, bolts, more ropes. And when I swung out into open space, I noticed that I was going a bit too fast.
Feel like need more friction.
And when you're free hanging, you're spinning around like a spider on a web.
Just had a bit of an epic up there. I basically put a bit too much friction on, too little, sorry. And I got about 50 meters down. It wasn't enough. And I started to slip. So I had to spend 10 minutes climbing up and trying to sort my position out.
In the process of doing that, I'd completely used up all the energy that I had left.
I'm probably only a third of the way down.
I think on the thermometer it was probably about 45, which is really, really hot. You've got white rock reflecting the heat back up at you. Even the wind was hot. And Aldo certainly took a real hammering.
I need a drink.
And I had drank probably 7 or 8 litres during the day, but that still wasn't enough. Really, I was running on empty. All I can do is focus on the next 10 seconds.
I'm knackered.
I knew that if I didn't get down to the ground quickly, then I was going to end up in a bit of a bad way.
Cramp. Cramp. Dehydrated.
And the first signs for heat exhaustion was that I was sweating profusely. I'd lost a lot of fluids. And then you start to get incredibly hot and dry. You stop sweating. And I can just feel the blood pulsing through my temples. Every time I had to heave up the rope, I was cramping. My hands were in knots basically around the rope. I had to physically pry my fingers back and stretch my arms. And when you get to that stage where nothing works, it's then quite a bad day.
Watching Aldo in trouble above me was one of those paralyzing things where you know that there's nothing you can do. Aldo, what's going on?
Mate, I can't even... I can't hold the rope.
By jumping onto the rope, I could slow his descent. So I got up there, got my weight on the rope and did everything I could to slow him down.
Nearly there, mate,
All
nearly
right,
there.
mate, bring me in.
What do you think? Or are you okay coming in here?
Just anywhere, mate, I just need off. Everything's cramping, mate.
I think when you go through situations like this, where you're taken right to the edge, it does form fast, strong friendships. You know, our friendship and our bond is definitely stronger now.
You always try and give help to everyone that you can on an expedition because you never know when you're going to be that person that needs help. And for me, when I was on that rope, I needed Steve.
Thank you, dude.
But it's about keeping that mental, physical and emotional resilience and eventually having cheerfulness in the face of adversity.